Most women completely misunderstand men, and it's ruining relationships. Here's what men really need. There exists a deep mismatch between what men truly require and what many women assume men require. Women often believe men must talk more, reveal emotions, and become emotionally expressive. What men actually require is to be understood as they are, not constantly filtered through a female emotional perspective. We need our style of communication honored, not repaired. We need our expressions of affection recognized, not corrected. Let me explain what is really happening when women fail to grasp what men are trying to communicate, and why this confusion is breaking relationships faster than ever before. Men communicate with intention, not emotional symbolism. When men text, call, or speak, there is usually a direct purpose. What time is dinner literally means we want the time. I will be home late means exactly that. There is no hidden layer, no emotional undertone, no secret signal waiting to be decoded. Yet some women approach every message like it is the Da Vinci Code, searching for meanings that were never placed there. I once had a client whose girlfriend would send random pictures throughout the day, her coffee, her workspace, her meals, and then feel hurt when he did not respond enthusiastically. He would reply nice, or send a thumbs up, and she would emotionally spiral. You do not care about my day. But what response was expected to a picture of a sandwich? Was he supposed to write poetry about a turkey club? He honestly did not understand what kind of response she wanted because from his perspective, nothing had been communicated that required engagement. This practical and direct communication style men use often gets labeled as emotional coldness. We say what we mean what we say, and assume that should be sufficient. But some women want emotional decoration added to every sentence. They crave excitement over routine things, enthusiasm about nothing, and emotional investment in the completely ordinary. When men do not provide this, they get labeled distant or uncaring. Some women expect emotional enthusiasm that men do not naturally generate. They are conditioned by how women communicate with other women. Excessive exclamation points, constant validation, excitement over small details. Oh my God, your new haircut looks amazing. That color is perfect on you. I am so happy for you. This is normal in female communication. And when men do not match this emotional energy, women assume men do not care. But here is the reality. Men demonstrate care differently. A man may not celebrate your promotion verbally, but he will help you prepare for it. He may not cry during a sad movie, but he will hold you while you cry. He may not write emotional paragraphs, but he will fix your car at midnight in the rain. These are expressions of love, just not in a language some women are trained to recognize. Society increasingly frames male communication as inferior. This is where real damage begins. Cultural narratives pushed by certain ideologies portray men as emotionally limited, underdeveloped, or broken because they do not communicate like women. Men are told they must evolve emotionally, which often means adopting feminine modes of expression. The pressure to conform to female emotional styles is relentless. Relationship articles, therapists, and advice columns repeat the same message. Men need to be more emotional, more expressive, more like women. Rarely does anyone ask whether male communication has its own value. Rarely does anyone suggest that women might learn to understand male expression instead of trying to reshape it. Male friendships function through presence, not interrogation. When a male friend is going through a divorce, I do not need every detail. I do not need him crying on my shoulder. I show up. We grab a drink. We work on his car. We sit together in silence. He knows I am there, and that is enough. That is emotional support in male form. Some women misinterpret this as emotional detachment. They see men not discussing feelings and assume those feelings do not exist. They see men not prying and believe there is no care. But there is care. It is shown through loyalty, presence, and action rather than emotional excavation. One client told me his wife was furious because when his best friend's father passed away, they went fishing. They did not talk about the death. They did not process emotions verbally. They simply fished. She could not understand how that was support. But for men, that presence, that normalcy, that shared silence is support. Pain does not always require words to be acknowledged. The female desire for emotional details is not always pure empathy. This is something rarely discussed. Some women want to know every detail of their friend's drama and label it caring. But often it is something else. Emotional voyeurism, social currency, competitive satisfaction. They are not just supporting, they are consuming. The voyeuristic aspect is real. Some people enjoy the intensity of another person's crisis. It is stimulation, entertainment, drama experienced without personal consequence. They want every detail of a breakup not to help, but to feel. It resembles reality television, except the characters are real people. Information becomes power in certain female circles. Whoever knows the most controls the narrative, shapes perception, and decides who is right or wrong. Personal details become social capital to trade and leverage. The competitive satisfaction element is particularly troubling. In some female friendships, there is closeness mixed with rivalry. When a friend experiences failure, a breakup, rejection, or career loss, it can secretly feel validating. Comparisons never stop. Who is prettier? Who is more successful? Whose relationship is stronger? A friend's downfall can provide psychological reassurance. I have watched this dynamic destroy friendships. A woman shares relationship problems seeking support, while her friends secretly enjoy the suffering because it elevates their own position. Advice is given to create drama, not resolve it. They want the story to continue, not end. Male competition is direct and visible. Men compete openly. We play sports, compare results, challenge each other directly. There is a winner and a loser, and then it ends. Female competition is indirect and emotional. Comparison, gossip, and manipulation replace direct confrontation. It is rarely acknowledged, but always present. Men are not emotionally numb. We operate using a different system. We are not avoiding emotional depth. We are respecting boundaries. We wait for clear permission before entering someone's pain. If a man wants to discuss his divorce, he will bring it up. If he does not, we respect that. This is not emotional incompetence. It is emotional maturity. Some women claim higher empathy, but it is not that simple. Emotional involvement often carries self-serving motives. What appears as empathy may be curiosity, status-seeking, or comparison. Meanwhile, male support, quiet, steady, and action-based, is dismissed because it lacks emotional performance. The myth that women are emotionally superior needs to end. Different does not mean inferior. Male emotional styles have strengths: stability, boundaries, action-oriented support, loyalty without intrusion. Yet many women expect men to do all the adapting. Here is what men actually need that some women do not understand. We need respect for our emotional autonomy. We will open up when we feel ready, not when we are pressured or interrogated. We need our instinct to solve problems respected instead of criticized. When we immediately look for solutions, that is how we express care. We also need physical space without it being misread as rejection. Sometimes we need to be alone to think internally, to reset, to recharge in silence. This is not about distancing from a partner. It is about meeting our internal needs. Yet some partners take this personally and create conflict where none existed. Men need recognition for what we actually do, not constant criticism for what we do not do. We may not write romantic poetry, but we make sure your vehicle is safe to drive. We may not plan extravagant dates, but we stay late at work to secure stability. We may not constantly verbalize love, but we demonstrate it through provision and protection. Being criticized for not communicating the right way is draining. We are told we do not share enough, yet when we do share, it is never the correct version. We are told to be vulnerable, but when we are, that vulnerability gets used against us. We are encouraged to express emotions, but only emotions that are convenient and only in approved formats. I once counseled a man who finally opened up to his wife about his fears around job security. Within days, she began questioning his ability to provide, suggesting she might need to return to work, essentially panicking about finances. His vulnerability activated her anxiety, which she then redirected back onto him. The lesson he learned was simple: keep fears private. Men need their love language acknowledged, not replaced. We show love through service, through provision, through protection. Yet some women dismiss these as basic expectations while demanding verbal affirmation and emotional performance. Your oil changes are love. Fixing things around the house is love. Working late to afford shared experiences is love. The constant push for men to become more feminine in expression is eroding male identity. We are not flawed women. We are men. We do not need fixing, upgrading, or evolving into something else. We need understanding and appreciation for who we are and how we naturally function. Some women believe men need constant emotional reassurance, But we do not. We do not need daily affirmations or applause for functioning as adults. We need respect, trust, and the assumption of competence until proven otherwise. The belief that men are emotionally incompetent is insulting. Some partners assume men cannot handle emotional complexity, cannot understand feelings, cannot manage relationships without female direction. Yet men have handled complex emotional realities their entire lives. We simply do not broadcast them or process them in groups. Men experience sexual intimacy as emotional connection, and this is frequently dismissed. For many men, physical intimacy is emotional intimacy. It is how we feel bonded, valued, and desired. Yet some women treat sex as a reward to grant or withhold as punishment, not realizing they are severing emotional connection. The claim that sex is not important, when used as leverage, is gaslighting. They understand its importance, which is why it becomes a weapon. They know its value, which is why it is rationed. Then they act surprised when relationship satisfaction collapses. Men need their competence assumed rather than questioned. The constant second-guessing, the "are you sure" comments, the hovering while we work, is disrespectful. We do not question your competence in your areas. Do not undermine ours and ours. Men need their interests respected instead of mocked. Sports, gaming, cars, fishing are not meaningless hobbies. They are how we decompress, connect with others, and maintain identity beyond work and relationships. When partners belittle these interests, they are attacking our mental health. I know men whose personalities slowly disappeared after partners systematically eliminated their hobbies. Video games labeled childish. Sports called pointless. Cars dismissed as wastes of money. 5 years later, these men are empty, depressed, with no joy except what their partner approves. Male friendships are essential and constantly undermined. Some partners view male friendships as competition, threats, or stolen time. Yet male friendships are where men remain grounded, where masculinity exists without apology. Men need trust, not surveillance. Phone checking, location tracking, constant questioning after time out is exhausting. If there is no trust, why stay? And if there is trust, why the monitoring? This is not love. It is insecurity expressed as control. Men need their communication accepted at face value. When we say nothing is wrong, sometimes nothing is wrong. We are not always hiding feelings or playing games. Sometimes we are genuinely fine. But some partners refuse to accept this, creating issues by insisting problems exist. The emotional archaeology performed by some women is exhausting. Digging into every word, analyzing tone, searching for hidden meaning. We are tired because we are tired, not because we are losing interest. We are quiet because we are thinking, not because we are angry. Men want conflict resolution, not conflict expansion. When there is an issue, we want to identify it, fix it, and move forward. Some partners want to analyze feelings, motives, meanings, and connections to events from years ago. A simple issue becomes a season-long series. Scorekeeping must end. Men need expiration dates on mistakes. What happened years ago is finished. But some partners keep detailed records ready for future deployment. We need appreciation for consistency, not only dramatic gestures. Going to work daily is love. Staying faithful is love. Showing up is love. Reliability may not be glamorous, but it matters. Yet it is ignored while the absence of movie-style romance is criticized. Men need their stress acknowledged without being minimized. Work pressure, financial responsibility, and family obligations weigh heavily. Responding with "I have stress too" turns it into competition. Both stresses can exist. Provider pressure never disappears. Even in equal partnerships, men carry it. Failure to provide feels like failure as a man. This is not toxicity. It is deep conditioning. Men need their contributions valued equally. Heavy lifting, dirty work, protection, problem handling, these matter. Yet they are dismissed as expected or outdated while emotional labor is treated as sacred. Masculine does not mean broken. We are not defective versions of women. We are different. And that difference has value. Being treated as constant improvement projects is exhausting. Some partners enter relationships planning renovations. Clothes updated. Friends replaced. Interests reshaped. Communication redesigned. Men become projects instead of partners. I have seen men change so much they no longer recognize themselves. They look right, sound right, act right, yet resentment consumes them. They gained approval and lost identity. Men need intimacy without negotiation. When affection must be earned through chores or traded through tasks, desire dies. Attraction cannot be negotiated. The myth that more housework equals more intimacy has been debunked. Men who contribute equally often experience less intimacy, not more. Desire is not about fairness. Men need silence to be acceptable. Sometimes we do not want to talk. Sometimes we are processing. Sometimes we simply want to exist without explanation. This is not unhealthy. It is how we operate. We open up when we choose to, not when we're interrogated. What we need respected is our instinct to solve problems, not to be judged for it. When our first response is to think in solutions, that is our way of showing care. We also need space without it being framed as rejection. Sometimes isolation is how we process, how we recharge mentally. It's not about distancing from our partner. It's about regulating ourselves internally. Yet some partners personalize this, turning neutrality into conflict that never existed. Men need recognition for what we contribute, not constant focus on what we fail to do. We may not express affection through poetry, but we make sure the car runs safely. We may not plan extravagant dates, but we stay late at work to secure stability. We may not repeat, "I love you," daily, but we demonstrate it through protection and provision. Being criticized for not communicating the right way is draining. We're told we don't open up enough, but when we do, it's still wrong. We're encouraged to be vulnerable, yet that vulnerability is later weaponized. We're asked to show emotion, but only the emotions that are acceptable and only in approved formats. I once worked with a man who finally shared his fear about job security with his wife. Within days, she began doubting his ability to provide, suggesting contingency plans that revealed panic. His honesty triggered her anxiety, which she redirected onto him. He learned the lesson many men learn. Silence feels safer than honesty. Men need their love language acknowledged, not overwritten. We express love through action, through responsibility, through protection. But some women dismiss these as bare minimum while demanding verbal affirmation and emotional displays. Routine maintenance is love. Fixing the house is love. Working extra hours to afford a better life is love. The pressure to feminize male expression is eroding male identity. We are not malfunctioning women. We are men. We don't need to be reprogrammed. We need to be understood. We don't require constant reassurance or daily affirmations. We don't need applause for functioning as adults. What we need is respect, trust, and the assumption of competence. The belief that men are emotionally incapable is deeply insulting. Some partners assume men can't grasp emotional nuance or navigate relationships without supervision. That's false. We've handled emotional complexity our entire lives. We simply don't broadcast it. For many men, physical intimacy is emotional connection. Sex is not separate from love, it is how we bond. Yet it's often minimized, withheld, or turned into leverage. Being told it's not that important, while it's actively controlled, is gaslighting. The decline in intimacy predictably destroys connection, then partners act confused. Men need competence to be presumed, not constantly questioned. The hovering, the second-guessing, the silent audits, it's degrading. We don't undermine your expertise. Respect ours. We need our interests honored, not mocked. Sports, games, cars, fishing, these aren't childish distractions. They're how we decompress, connect, and retain identity. When partners eliminate these, men don't become better partners. They become empty. Male friendships are essential. They are not competition. They are where men reset and exist without explanation. Surveillance disguised as concern, phone checks, tracking, interrogations, is not love. It's insecurity turned into control. If there's no trust, the relationship is already broken. When we say nothing is wrong, sometimes nothing is wrong. Not everything hides meaning. Not every silence conceals resentment. The constant emotional excavation is exhausting. We want problems resolved, not endlessly analyzed. Fix it and move forward, not relive it for years. Scorekeeping destroys intimacy. Men need expiration dates on mistakes. Consistency is love. Showing up daily is love. Faithfulness is love. Reliability is love. But these quiet forms get ignored while cinematic romance is demanded. Our stress deserves acknowledgement. Responsibility weighs on us. Provision pressure never disappears. This isn't social conditioning you can talk away. Men are not incomplete beings seeking completion. We are whole individuals seeking compatible partners. Different isn't defective. Masculine communication isn't inferior. Silence isn't pathology. Action is how many men heal. Forcing emotional processing isn't therapy, it's punishment. Our love may be steady instead of dramatic, practical instead of poetic, but it is real. The sacrifices go unseen. Dreams postponed. Passions dropped. Friendships faded. All unnoticed while the absence of grand gestures is criticized. Home should be peace, not performance review. Respect matters more than affection for men. Disrespect feels like rejection. We don't need another mother. Testing, correcting, managing, it's suffocating. Our autonomy matters. Our no means no. Our yes is sincere. Men need room to fail without character assassination. Mistakes aren't moral defects. Different labor types count equally. Silence after work isn't withdrawal, it's recovery. Masculinity isn't toxic. It's different. We want partnership, not prosecution. Admiration isn't ego-feeding, it's emotional fuel. Encouragement builds men. Constant criticism breaks them. Strength doesn't always look emotional. Stoicism is not absence of feeling. Needing space isn't rejection. Independence isn't abandonment. Some women don't understand male needs because they were never taught to. But until these truths are spoken, the misunderstanding continues. What do you need that's constantly misunderstood? Share your experience. Let's finally talk about what men actually need, not what we're told we should need.